Hey everyone, welcome back to Portal of Wisdom. I'm back today with another story for you. If you are new to the channel, like and subscribe and click that little post notification bell so you get alerted when I post new videos. And now on to today's topic. Today we are going to talk about the Lost Cement gold mine in California. So the story starts out in 1857. There were two German men that were part of a California-bound wagon train, and they split off from the group, and apparently this happened probably in Nevada, western Nevada. So they split off from the group, and they headed in a more southerly direction, and the rest of the wagon train headed toward Lake Tahoe and the normal mountain passes that most of the wagon trains went over. So these two Germans, I'm not sure why they headed down in a more southerly direction, if they were heading more towards the Los Angeles area or if they were part of the normal wagon trains up to that point or what their plan was. But anyhow, so they headed off in a more southerly direction than the rest of the wagons, and they ended up near Mono Lake, California. And this is near the east of Yosemite. So they ended up near the headwaters of a stream, it was said, and they sat down to take a break. And it is believed that the stream was either the Owens River or the middle fork of the San Joaquin River. And these rivers, when you look at a map, you'll discover that the headwaters of each of these rivers are only a few short miles apart. So it's not a real big area that they, potentially were in at this point. And as they sat there and relaxed, one of the men remarked that this area was the burnt country. And they sat there and they rested near this stream, and one of them looked close by and saw a weird looking ledge on the side of the hill or the mountain or whatever. And he got up to investigate this ledge, and he discovered that this rock ledge was filled with weird looking red lava and lumps of what appeared to be gold. And it was all cemented together, which is where the name the Lost Cement gold mine comes from. So the ledge was so loaded with what looked to be pure gold lumps that one of the Germans, he just didn't believe that there was any way this was real gold. So I'm sure he maybe suspected that it was iron pyrite or something similar, and he continued to laugh about it. But the other German just felt that it must be gold, and he started digging chunks of this supposed gold out of the matrix. And he pounded away for quite a while, and I believe the other German was just relaxing, having a drink, and all the while he was laughing at his friend that was going to town on this ledge of supposed gold. So the German, who was just sure that this was gold, then drew a map to the location. And then he loaded up the approximately 10 pounds of this possible gold that he had been excavating from the ledge. So along the way, it was said that most of the samples of this supposed gold were disposed of. And I'm not sure if it was due to being laughed at all the time or if they felt that they should ditch this extra weight if they were fairly sure now that it wasn't gold. But anyhow, they crossed the mountains and they followed the San Joaquin River down to the west into the mining town of Millerton. And along the way, I don't know if this was before they hit Millerton or not, but along the way, the non-believer, he died. And he left this optimistic German to finish the journey without him. As he continued along, he also got sick, But he was able to make it to San Francisco, and he found a doctor who was Dr. Randall, and he found this doctor to help him. So the doctor examined this German and told him he was dying of consumption or tuberculosis. And he was getting pretty weak while under the doctor's care, and he knew he didn't have much longer. He also didn't have any money to pay the doctor. So he thought he did have this gold, and it seems by this point he had been able to determine that it actually was real gold. So he gave the doctor his gold that he had remaining from this mine location, and he gave the doctor his map that he had drawn to the location of the gold, and he gave him whatever details that he could remember in his final days. And he soon after died, and the doctor gathered up a few of his friends to go into the eastern Sierra Nevada to look for this location or mine. And it was the spring of 1861 at this point when they arrived in the eastern Sierra Nevada. So word spread pretty fast, and a lot more miners flooded into the area looking for this gold-laden red cement. And it was said that two of Dr. Randall's party, so it sounds like they split up and went in different directions looking, so two of his party did find the mine location and mined several $1,000s worth of gold from this ledge. But the area's Native Americans that had been very peaceful up to this point were getting really upset and bothered by so many people invading their land and mining and just invading their area. And an uprising started at this point known as the Owens Valley Indian War. And this began in the year of 1861. So this began as they felt provoked by all of these miners in this area. So the two miners that had found this location, they were on their way back to the main party to tell them of their discovery when they were attacked and killed by the Native Americans. So no one knew where they found this mother lode, but apparently they had some of it on their persons when they were found deceased. So the search continued on, and even Mark Twain was involved in this search, and he wrote about it in his book Roughing It. So the mine was either never found or it was possibly found and mined out in secret. At this point, we don't really know. It could still be out there in this rugged country, or maybe not. We're not sure. Many other mines, though, have been operated in this area around that time or shortly after that time. And so this area is definitely rich in precious metals, so it could still be out there. So that is the story of the lost cement gold mine of the eastern Sierra Nevada in California.